Welcome guys to my NFL Week 13 picks. Last week, I had a great week on the picks last week. For Week 12, we was 14 and 2. I got 14 of the games right. I only got 2 of the games wrong, but ultimately, I'm going to take that as one of the best wins of the year. I got 14 of the games right, only 14 games right and 2 wrong. Again, inject that into my fucking veins because I'm taking that. And I'm going off to a good start here because last night we had the Bills versus the Patriots. Bills were at Foxborough last night. The Bills were 4.5 favorites. Patriots was plus 3.5. Again, I said about the Patriots this year, their supporting cast sucks, and Bill Belichick, the GM, is fucking over Bill Belichick, the head coach, because he's the guy that's doing all these bad things in the draft. And the aim of the game is to actually have a good supporting cast around your young quarterback in Matt Jones. And that supporting cast last night, they sucked last night. They sucked last night. They were a dumpster fire last night. It was like Bears football. No, this was Patriots football. So again, the supporting cast around Mac Jones needs to be questioned. And the Bills again 9-3 now. What an impressive year that they're having, and they did it without Von Miller. Von Miller was injured. Didn't matter because they won the game 27-10. Got the job done. Going to the early Sunday games, we have the Steelers, who are on the road to the Falcons. Steelers, who had a short week last week, playing on Monday night. So how is the fatigue going to be after having a short week? They're on the road. They're on the road again to the Falcons. So again, back-to-back road games for them. I'm gonna go for the Steelers -1. Then we have the Broncos versus the Ravens. The Broncos offense is a dumpster fire. The Ravens, they came off a shock loss last week, so I'm gonna go for the Ravens -8.5. We have Bears football. That's right, the Bears versus the Packers. I was torn to say the Bears in the film because again, the Packers have looked all that money on that defense, and the returns on Aaron Rodgers. And I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to Good Morning Football, the podcast, and some of these assholes in the media was like, "Oh, well, let's start Rodgers." No, you know what? You better start Jordan Love for the next 5 games because you've got no chance of making the playoffs this year. How about you start Jordan Love and actually see what you have with Jordan Love as a quarterback? Because Aaron Rodgers, he's got his big money, he's got a payday. He doesn't care about the Green Bay Packers. He just cares about the money, and I don't blame him for it. I mean, he's 38, 39. This is going to be his last big contract. But again, you spend a shit ton of money on the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive side of the ball sucks as well. Like you have Sammy Watkins replacing Devontae Adams. But I'm going to still say that the Packers get a win here -4.5 because again, this is a fucking Bears team that is one week can be bad, one week can be good. Again, it's a mixed bag of the Bears. And again, especially if Luke gets, he's going to be 3rd and 12, halfback time, 1st and 12, halfback time, field goal. Santos is going to field goal, going to run the ball, going to run the quarterback into the ground. I've heard that Justin Fields is going to be available for this game. I've heard that rumor, but maybe Trevor Siemian starts the game. But again, if he's healthy and ready, start Justin Fields for this game. He needs to beat Green Bay. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Packers -4.5. Then we have the Jags versus the Lions. I'm going to go for the Jags -1. Then we have the Browns versus the Texans, the big game of the weekend, in my opinion. You know, you can forget about the Bears and you know, people say the Chiefs and the Bengals, but I'm going to say the big game of the early games this weekend is going to be the Browns versus the Houston Texans, and Deshaun Watson is back, the first time in over 2 years that he's been back on the football field, and he's going to be at Houston. What reaction is he going to get in Houston? Again, who knows about that, but I'm going to say the Browns get the win here, -7. Again, you look at this Texans team, they're a dumpster fire, and again, just lose all your games, and hopefully you do well in the draft. We have the Jets versus the Vikings. Both teams are playoff teams, both are having great seasons. I'm going to go for the Vikings -3. We've got the Commanders versus the Commanders versus the Giants. I'm gonna go for the Brian Dabble. He's gonna get the win here, plus the 2.5, and beat the Commanders. Then we have the Titans versus the Eagles. Eagles are gonna. I'm gonna pick the Eagles minus the 4.5. Then we go into the late Sunday games. We have the Seahawks versus the Rams. I'm going to go for the Seahawks minus the 7. Geno Smith, MVP of this season, Geno Smith. Again, if you're looking for a quarterback, the Houston Texans, get yourself Geno Smith. Then we have the Dolphins versus the 49ers. We have Mike McDaniel returning back to the 49ers to face his former coach in Kyle Shanahan. I'm gonna go for the Dolphins plus the 4. Again, I've said on this channel, this channel before, for the majority of the season, I've loved the stuff that Mike McDaniel's been doing with this Dolphins team, and Tua's been looking great as well. Then we have the Chiefs versus the Bengals. This was a rematch from the divisional round last season when the Bengals, again, the Chiefs last season, they dominated in the first half of the game. The Bengals came back and won and went to the Super Bowl. Can the Chiefs come back and get their revenge? The Bengals haven't been looking that good this year. But I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to get their revenge. They're going to beat the Bengals on the road and get the win. And yeah, the Chiefs minus 2. Then we have the Chargers versus the Raiders. I'm going to go for the Chargers plus the 1.5. Minus 1.5 for the Chargers. Then we have the Jeff Saturday Colts versus the Cowboys. I'm going to go for the Cowboys minus the 10.5. Then the Monday night game, we have the Bucs versus the Saints. Andy Dalton versus Tom Brady. I'm going to go for the Bucs minus the 3.5. And that is my picks, guys, for week 13. I'll leave my picks like I always do in the comments. And yeah, tell me your picks in the comments. And peace, guys.